Apple reporting better than expected earnings, but also revealing that sales dropped for the fourth consecutive quarter. And now there's some worries about the holiday season. Joining us now, Wamsi Mohan, and he is Bank of America senior securities analyst. So many things swirling around Apple to talk about, Wamsi. Different, and a lot of them are concerns, which is reflected in the stock price. Obviously, is 198 or so. Closed last night at 177 and is indicated 171. 172 this morning, down maybe 5 points. Good margins. They were able to maintain profitability. No one is probably that shocked that sales. I think sales were basically flat. When you call it revenue flat, I mean it's down 1%, down 1%, right?
Yeah, Joe. Revenues were flat in the September quarter. I think that was fairly in line with expectations. I would say that.
Basically.
Yeah, the Macs were a little bit softer, but services were a blowout. Like they were impressively higher. So you got some puts and takes. The good margin stuff, the profitability clearly stood out. So if I was to just summarize, like, what were the key takeaways from the earnings call, the first thing I would say is profitability and gross margins were amazing. The second thing I would say is that they're not really immune to consumer softness, which is what you're seeing in the guide. And it's the low end of the product portfolio where you're starting to see that softness. So the worry is that going to creep up into other areas of the portfolio? And the last thing is capital return. It's like extremely strong. They continue to buy back at an elevated pace. So you really have an Apple that's outperforming on the profitability side, underperforming a little bit on the revenue side.
Major angst about China as well. Huawei resurgent in the quarter. That'll probably continue. I guess the other thing is Apple going to be able to? It boosted margins by premium phones, by more expensive phones, but everyone's got one now, don't they?
Yeah, I think the margin story is unique at Apple. First of all, the services mix continues to grind higher, and they're going to monetize more and more of that. That's 70% gross margin. So Apple's a very unique company in that, given the market cap and given the revenue levels of $400 billion, you're still able to drive gross margins higher. It's just a very unique business model for them. The second element of margins is within products, right? When everything else is soft and iPhone is stronger on a relative basis, you actually end up with better hardware gross margins as well. So we're at a point where the question is, as commodity prices, which have been extremely favorable for the last, memory prices are down 50% year on year. Can you keep this gross margin up when you go into next year, when you have, a lot of the memory companies talking about 50% year on year price being higher? So you do have some real headwinds to gross margin. You got increased competition, to your point, from Huawei in China. That's real, right? Like, we're talking about units that can be between 70 to 100 million units potentially from Huawei. So what does that really mean for Apple in China? They've taken about 20 million units of share over the last 4 years. They'll probably give back some of that, right? So, and I think management acknowledges that, but you got some offsets like India. So it's just that India won't be the upside driver that people thought it might be. It's basically offsetting some of the weakness and the competitive issues in China.
I mean, Apple's like performing like the greatest company in the world, but not like the uber greatest company in the world that it was for the last couple of years. It's just it's a minute slowdown in the second derivative. It seems like. So they still got the top 4 phones in China,
right?
But overall sales fell in China, right?
Yeah, they did, right? So you're flat to slightly down, like 1% or so in net terms overall. But China was a little bit worse than that. It was 3 points down year on year. I think the China deceleration is going to get exacerbated. Remember that last year, China had a ton of issues, right? Like in the fourth quarter of last year, China really had the production shutdown that happened during the quarter. They also had an extra week in the quarter. They were hit by FX. So there were a lot of moving pieces to unpack from last year's fourth quarter. But we think that the China headwinds are going to continue both from a revenue level, but also from a production standpoint where there's supply chain shifts that are happening out of there.
The outlook, how much worse was that than what you were? What kind of growth are you expecting next quarter in revenue?
Yeah, so we were modeling about $124 billion. They said about $117 billion.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was substantially lower. And I think where everyone was surprised was the magnitude of deceleration within iPads, within Macs, and wearables. And that's what I meant by the lower end of the portfolio, where it's not as sticky, it's not as necessary. I mean, you just don't have to walk out of your house with a wearable necessarily, or your AirPods. I mean, although people swear by that. But But I think that you do have to go out of your house with an iPhone. It's less discretionary relative to all the other stuff that I think you're seeing softness, which is inherently a little bit more discretionary. So the question is, will that like really start to creep up from a softness perspective and broader demand?
No, it's a great fear of mine. I need to know where my phone is at all times. And I pass a toilet, I get nervous. I pass a swimming pool, I get nervous. If I forget it and can't find it and I have it on mute where I'm not going to be able to ring it.
You mean both your phones, right?
What's that?
You mean both your phones?
Yeah.
Everyone's got two phones now, right?
No,
one.
One
phone.
Okay.
I think it's a problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it depends.
What do you need to
tell us
read
about,
everything?
What's going on?
Well, you know,
this is Mohan. Is it watching?
You got limitations when you use one phone.
You don't hide it up.
You know, my
ceiling
5
somewhere.
kids calling me and my wife calling me like on FaceTime. I can't do that on my corporate device. So yeah,
right.
like it's.
So I don't understand why. You know, I'm not like dying to have a titanium phone. I have a case anyway. So and a better camera, but they've squeezed a lot of continuing growth out of stuff that really isn't that much better.
I think you have to look at innovation, Joe, over a multi-year period, right? You're not replacing your phone every year. Well, most people are not.
Because of the battery. Yeah.
But I think that over a 3-4 year period, like everyone upgrades, and it's a huge upgrade when you upgrade once every 3 or 4 years, because you're looking at like step function changes in camera functionality. So it's and it's much faster. The apps take a lot more like resources. So yeah, I mean I would say it's still very innovative.